The nearly naked alleged porch stalker has his first court appearance today. We have the details on what went down in the courtroom.
TV2 sat down with Kent State President Todd Dyken, where he talked about how his presidency is going so far. What he had to say coming up.
And the Democratic debate is set to begin in just a few hours. We have live coverage from Otterbein University.
The nominees are in. We have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class of 2020. Your Tuesday edition of TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Very busy Tuesday evening. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Erin Simonek.
And I'm Melissa Myers. The Kent State porch stalker appeared in court today for his preliminary hearing.
Our reporter Enzo Orlando was in the courtroom this afternoon. Enzo, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Erin. Today, the hearing for the man who is going up to the sorority houses half naked was in court today at the Portage County Municipal Court in Ravenna. 3-year-old Stephen Franzreb of North Royalton was arrested Friday night by U.S. Marshals in Broadview Heights. He is being accused of creeping around at the sorority houses of Alpha Phi and Delta Gamma and showing up there half naked. He also sent naked pictures of himself to some of the girls on Instagram. Police were able to track him down via social media. The big question that many of us want to know is, what was his intentions of doing this?
This is case 19. CRA 1574K, State of Ohio versus Stephen Franzreb. Mr. Franzreb, it is alleged that on October 3rd, 2019, at 1068 Fraternity Circle in the city of Kent, you committed the violation of menacing by stalking, a felony of the 4th degree. That carries with it a minimum of 6 months in jail or prison, up to 18 months in prison, with a maximum fine of $5,000 and court costs.
The next hearing for this case will be this Friday at the Kent Municipal Court at 11 p.m. For TV2 News, I'm Enzo Orlando.
The man who attacked a woman on the Kent practice track was in court this morning. Christopher Clark pled not guilty to 2 counts of gross sexual imposition, 1 count of obstructing official business, and 1 count of assault. His bond was set at $50,000. He will begin his pre-trial on December 12th. And the Democratic debate at Otterbein University starts in just a few hours, and all candidates are gearing up to speak. Our TV2 reporter Maddie Haberberger is outside of the Reich Center. Maddie, how does it look down there?
Thanks, guys. Now we're right outside the Reich Center right now, where attendees are lined up to get into the debate. There are supporters of just about every candidate outside, holding signs, wearing t-shirts, and passing out flyers. Now, just a refresher, here's all the candidates that will take the stage tonight. Former Housing and Urban Development Secretary Julian Castro, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar, former Texas Rep Beto O'Rourke, entrepreneur Andrew Yang, South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, former VP Joe Biden, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, California Senator Kamala Harris, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, billionaire Tom Steyer, and Hawaii Rep Tulsi Gabbard. Currently, Biden, Warren, and Sanders have maintained the top 3 polling spots for some time, but for lower polling or lesser-known candidates, tonight's debate is a chance to make an impression on future voters. Now, Kent Wired and TV2 will be reporting live with updates throughout the evening, so be sure to check out our social media at TV2KSU for more. For TV2 News, I'm Maddie Haberberger.
Well, I think we're starting to see those cooler fall temperatures.
Right, it's about time. I've kind of been waiting for it. I'm over the heat.
I agree, and I think it's here to stay, but hopefully our weather anchor Danny Callahan will tell us more with our first forecast. Danny.
All right, thank you guys so much, and good evening, Portage County. We're going to start things off by looking at, as always, the temperatures all across the beautiful state of Ohio. We got 73 in Columbus, 71 up in Lima, and then we got 69 up here in Akron, the Northeast Ohio area. If we take a look at what it looks like currently in Kent, it is 65 degrees outside. There's a little bit of sun, but there also are quite a bit of clouds. It's about 50-50 on both ends, and it's a little chilly, but it's perfect conditions for the fall, perfect fall temperatures that we are having here today. If we take a look at what it's going to look like in the hourly, around 7 o'clock It's going to be about 61. We're going to drop a few degrees. They're going to get more clouds, less sun, and then it's going to be about 58 around 9, and then of course 58 tonight at 11. And the rain will also be picking up around 11, so unless you're going to go out later on tonight, you're not going to get a whole lot of rain unless you're going out real late. So that's all I've got for you guys right now. Let's take it back to the desk.
Thanks, Danny. Firefighters were called to Hudson last night to extinguish a burning train engine on Stowe Road. Firefighters battled the flames from around 8:30 to 9 p.m., and the road shortly reopened around 9:50. Hudson police say the fire was called in from the Kent area and multiple trains were stopped because of it. No injuries were reported. And moving to Akron, a new pilot program between Akron Children's Hospital and Akron and Warren school districts will now allow children to see nurse practitioners for a wellness checkup or when they are sick. The program aims to provide primary care to kids who may not have access and to lessen the amount of school days missed for being sick. So far this school year, about 20 students have received health checkups through the program.
A Facebook post may be costing a Maslin woman more than $350,000. Chelsea Tubbs is being sued by her former employer, Liberty HealthShare, and another company called Cost Caring Solutions over comments she posted on her Facebook. The Facebook page called Liberty Health Members Uncensored attracts comments from customers unhappy with Liberty HealthShares. Both companies asked Tubbs to shut down the Facebook page, and when she didn't, the companies filed separate lawsuits aimed at shutting down the page. The companies are suing for claim slander and defamation. A Cleveland patrol officer was arrested on a felony domestic violence charge by Lakewood police. Officer Stevie Green Jr. was relieved of his position following his arrest on Friday night. Police say Green will remain suspended without pay until the charges are finalized. This is a developing story, and we will continue to update you as we learn more. Still to come on TV2 News, life on Mars may not be as you think. Find out more when we return.
And our reporter Maria DeBone sat down with Kent State's president. We have the highlight of the meeting when we come back.
And fall break is over, which means it's back to class. Stay tuned, and I'll tell you what your commute is going to be looking like this week.
This is Portage County's TV2, broadcasting from the campus of Kent State University, streaming online at kentwired.com.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
So much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. Living states of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall. And make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first to change a life.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Today, TV2 and the Kent Stater sat down with Kent State President Todd Deiken. They asked him various questions, including how the presidency is going so far. Our reporter Maria DeBone has more. Maria.
Thanks, Aaron. I sat down with President Deiken, who said he's enjoying his new duties as he transitioned from provost to president. He also talked about the current hiring freeze in place. He says that Kent State will be able to make between 6 and 12 hires of tenure faculty, and here's why.
Hiring freeze makes sense because our number of employees has grown while enrollment has declined. So at some point I think you have to ask yourself, what's the right number of employees for a university that has 3,000 fewer students than it did, say, in 2015. And that's why a hiring freeze helped us. First of all, it helped us balance the budget, so that's very important. And then
I also talked to Daikin about the recent ongoing investigation into the cancellation of the field hockey game, and he says that they were going to conduct an already scheduled gender equality and athletics review prior to the cancellation.
I want to make it very clear that if any individual on this campus, off of this campus, has a specific allegation of sexual harassment of any kind, it behooves them to file a formal complaint with our office charged with investigating those complaints.
Now, Daikin mentioned that former President Lefton said every 5 years they should complete a gender inequality analysis. Now, the last one was 5 years ago, so he says Kent is due for one this fall. So Daikin will be doing that with the help of the faculty athletic representative, Kathy Wilson. And for more on our sit-down with President Daikin, go to kentwire.com. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Maria DeBone. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Maria. Well, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announced the class of 2020 nominees. The announcement was made this morning in downtown Cleveland.
Big day here at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. We just announced our new 16 nominees for Rock Hall induction in 2020. So 9 of those 16 nominees have never been on the ballot before, so that's really exciting. Another thing to point out for Clevelanders is that there are a couple of Cleveland connections on the ballot this year.
We're continuing coverage for the Democratic debate happening in Westerville tonight. Our reporter Lexi Biasi is inside getting ready for the action. Hi, Lexi.
Hey guys, so I'm currently in the press filing room, and as you can see behind me, there are hundreds and hundreds from the media here gathered tonight preparing for the upcoming debate. And the debate will air on CNN at 8 p.m. And you might be wondering why Ohio? Well, Ohio is typically a swing state, but then in the 2016 presidential election, it was a primarily red state, went the Republican way. So this is exactly where the Democrats and the Democratic Party would want to be, because they can really get these swing state voters to go to the Democratic side. So tonight at 8 p.m. it's going to be really interesting to see what all 12 candidates have to say. Again, you can watch that at 8 p.m. on CNN, and we will be live tweeting from Twitter at KentWired on Twitter, as I said, and you can tune in there. We have full coverage.
All right, thank you so much. We're back to the weather. Right now, we're going to take a look at the temperatures across Northeast Ohio. It is 68 in Sandusky, 69 down in Mansfield, and then 64 in the beautiful city of Kent. If we take a look at what it's going to look like tonight, temperature is going to drop just a little bit. We're going to get into the high 50s tonight. We're going to be around 58 at midnight. There will be rain starting around 11. That will continue into the nighttime. It's going to continue into tomorrow morning, which this is what we're looking like tomorrow morning. It is going to be 55 degrees tomorrow, and the rain is still going to be coming down. And there's going to be temperature drops throughout not just the morning, but throughout the day. We're going to possibly drop into the 40s tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be definitely a lot more wet, and it's also going to be a lot chillier tomorrow. If we take a look at what it's going to look like this week, as I said, tomorrow the rain will be there in the morning. And it's also going to be windy throughout the day, and then breezy on Thursday. But the good news is this weekend, Friday, Saturday, the sun is coming out and the temperatures are going up a little bit. 67 will be the high Saturday, and then Sunday we're going to get some rain in the morning. Monday, an overcast, and then Tuesday there are possible showers. It's going to be extremely cloudy, but as you guys can see, those temperatures at least will be rising a little bit. We're going to get into the 70s on Monday. So it's kind of a good thing, but a bad thing. Those temperatures are going up because it's the fall. You know, you want fall temperatures.
Honestly, I feel like it's a pretty ideal week. I was so over the heat these past couple days, so I've really been waiting for the fall temperatures.
I know. I'm ready for the rain.
Right. Well, thanks, Danny.
Yep.
Hundreds of people crammed into a school meeting in Georgia Monday talked about bathrooms. The superintendent had said transgender students could use any bathroom they wish, but he went back on that policy after receiving death threats and facing angry parents. Michael Seaton has details.
debate and
You're a man.
to use.
I would love.
All right, well, we're having some technical difficulties, so we're going to keep on moving here, and hopefully we can play that package later for you. Everyone knows April 15th is tax day, but if you're one of the 15 million taxpayers who punted in the spring, your real tax day is Tuesday. That's when the Internal Revenue Service's extension deadline expires. You will likely have to pay big penalty fees. For those who still can't pay, the IRS will work out payment plans. A few special exceptions exist for certain situations, like people who have dealt with natural disasters. The first-time penalty abatement program also helps some taxpayers who don't have histories of paying late.
Cuba Gooding Jr. is certainly innocent of the allegations that will be presented today before the court.
Cuba Gooding Jr. is set to be arraigned on groping charges today in June. The actor was charged with grabbing the breast of a woman in a Manhattan bar. He was indicted last week on the old charge, but now a new accuser is coming forward. Details of the new allegations are scheduled to be unsealed Tuesday. Gooding denies all accusations against him. A man is in police custody after he walked into a Mount Shasta, California police department and confessed to murder. He admitted to killing 4 people in Roseville, about 20 miles from Sacramento. One of the victims was in the trunk of the car that he drove to the police station. Brandy Cummings reports.
It's the place they call home.
It's a great area. There's great people.
Now considered a crime scene. Roseville police investigating a quadruple homicide here.
The adult male who was detained claimed to have murdered individuals at his residence here in Roseville.
Around 12 p.m. Monday, Roseville police got a call from Mount Shasta police. They say an unidentified man claims he killed 4 people. 3 of them were found at his Roseville apartment. A 4th victim was with him inside this vehicle parked outside of the Mount Shasta police station, more than 200 miles away from his home.
He showed up at the police department in this car with the body.
Chris Olin, a former firefighter EMT, saw the law enforcement going in and out of an apartment just feet from his home. He had no idea what was going on. He says he also saw a police helicopter overhead and heard a message repeating for over an hour.
They said the boy's name. We know you might be out there.
Description of what he was wearing.
Description of what he's wearing, and we need you to contact the police department.
Right.
You're not in trouble. You might have said that. We just want to make sure you're safe.
So far, police haven't identified the suspect nor the victims, and they don't know when the crimes happened. But they tell KCRA they don't believe this was a random crime. Roseville police think the suspect and victims knew each other, but they are still putting the pieces together, trying to figure out just what happened.
The detectives, both at the scene here and the detectives at the scene up in Mount Shasta, are really trying to backtrack and figure out, are there additional crimes that are committed? Are there additional scenes? That's information that I just don't know.
The death toll from Typhoon Hagibis in Japan is now at least 72, according to Japan's public broadcaster. A massive search and rescue operation remains underway. 14 people are still missing. The monster storm brought record-setting rain and wind, resulting in flooding and landslides. More than 100,000 police, fire, and other workers are involved in the rescue and cleanup efforts. Nigerian police have rescued 67 men and boys from a school where they experienced horrific conditions. The school, located in Katsina State in northern Nigeria, also served as a rehabilitation center. Students tipped off police to the conditions at the school. According to Katsina police, the students ages 7 to 40 endured days without food and as well as experiencing physical and sexual abuse. Some students report being beaten by chains, a practice that happened almost daily. The school owner and 2 teachers have been arrested and are still being held by police. Those rescued have been taken to a hospital.
Now, we've all wondered the possibility of life on Mars. Well, one scientist from NASA is sharing his discovery made years ago and what he plans on doing in the future. Stay tuned.
It was an award-worthy performance for the Kent State football team on Saturday. I'll tell you who the big winners were right after the break.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore. And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy, and giving up impossible.
And then we're gonna turn the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
What's your reaction? Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods
Okay, what else?
common.
This is their world.
There's nothing.
And then they die. Go ahead, go, go, go.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
I'm Campbell Rico with TV2 Sports. Let's start right here at home. The Kent State football team brought the wagon wheel back to Kent on Saturday, and a few awards followed their impressive victory today. Junior defensive back Elvis Hines earned MAC Defensive Player of the Week after his performance in the 26-3 win over Akron. Hines was all over the place, compiling 11 tackles and a key sack during a pivotal drive during the third quarter. And sophomore kicker Matthew Trickett was named MAC Special Teams Player of the Week for the second time this season. Trickett drilled 4 field goals in the win, and Kent State will travel to Athens to take on Ohio University on Saturday. Kickoff is set for noon, and the game will air on the CBS Sports Network. And the Cleveland Browns certainly won't be getting any awards for their efforts over the weekend. Head coach Freddie Kitchens took the podium today to address some injury concerns as the Browns rest up during their bye week. Kitchens said tests on Baker Mayfield's injured hip came out fine, and there's no doubt Baker will be 100% ready to play October 27th versus the Patriots. As for the reason Rashard Higgins didn't play, Kitchens said he thought it would benefit the receiver greatly to rest through the bye week and come back strong against the Patriots. And protesters in Hong Kong burned LeBron James jerseys today. This following James's comments last night in response to a question about Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey's tweet that supported the anti-government protesters. Morey's tweet has caused a rift between the NBA and China. Here are LeBron's comments.
Informed or you're not educated about something, and I'm just talking about, the tweet itself. You never know the ramifications that can happen. We all seen what that did. Not only did for our league, but for all of us in America, for people in China as well. And sometimes you have to think through things that you say that may cause harm not only for yourself, but for the majority of people.
Well, we're a week away from the tip-off of the NBA season, and the growing controversy doesn't seem to be going away. I'm Campbell Rico with TV2 Sports.
Still to come, could there be life on Mars? The details on what one scientist discovered years ago and his plans for future testing coming up.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
strawberries?
Okay. One former NASA scientist says the space agency found life on Mars more than 40 years ago, and he wants further action. In 1976, Viking landers sent to Mars placed nutrients in soil, then waited to see if life forms would consume it and leave metabolic traces. Radioactive monitors did detect those gaseous traces. Subsequent experiments couldn't find organic material, so scientists dismissed Viking's results as false positives. However, Gilbert Levin wants NASA to conduct similar tests again. The agency has not sent landers with life detection equipment since then, but last year the Curiosity rover found organic matter on Mars. The Mars 2020 rover will search for past habitable environments and scan for organic chemicals when it lands on Mars in 2021. However, it is not slated to perform the tests Levin is calling for.
Taco Bell has recalled over 2 million pounds of beef after a customer discovered metal shaving in an order. As of Friday, 100% of affected restaurants have removed their potentially contaminated beef. Locations of interest include the states of Michigan, New York, New Jersey, and of course, Ohio. I just laugh because we're talking about Mars and then we go to something that's more important to us, which is, of course, Taco Bell and its contaminated meat.
That makes me a little worried. I'm not a big Taco Bell eater, but I feel like I've recently started eating it, and I'm a little worried for my well-being at this point.
I try to avoid shards of metal in all things I eat.
I mean, you don't normally expect it, but...
Yeah, of course. Well, of course, in Northeast Ohio, you don't know how to expect the weather as well. So what can we see the rest of this week, Danny?
Yeah, of course. Well, the rest of this week, is looking pretty hit or miss. Wednesday, we're going to get some morning rain. Temperature's going to drop. It's going to be pretty windy. And then Thursday, those winds are going to kind of settle down a bit. More clouds are going to come out. Friday and Saturday are looking really nice. A lot of sun's coming out. Temperatures are getting raised. Sunday, we're going to get some rain in the morning and then some more rain to come Monday and Tuesday. The good news is, obviously, those temperatures are kind of going up. But, that can be a good thing or a bad thing. If you're a big fall person, you're probably kind of bummed out about seeing 70 degrees temperatures next week. So.
Yeah, but I think it'll hopefully get a little bit chillier soon. Yeah. Thank you, Danny. Well, that is our report for this Tuesday evening. Stay with us tonight on social media and Kent Wired for continuous debate coverage.
Tonight at 9, make sure to tune into a brand new episode of The Blurb. I'm Melissa Myers.
And I'm Erin Simonek. For all of us at Portage County's TV2, have a great night.